Hello everyone, welcome back to Jus de Rose. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you new fragrances that launched last month, so in August, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on these. Are they worth getting or are they a pass? We're gonna find out in today's video, and this is part of a wider series on my channel where every month I'll be sharing with you some fragrance news so that you always stay up to date with the latest new perfumes. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. This first launch is super exciting and it's kind of a big deal because it is Prada's first pillar in maybe a decade or so. It is called Prada Paradoxe. So this is an entirely new line of fragrances, and also the packaging is so cute. I'm such a sucker for pink perfume bottles, so I love that from the brand, and also I find it to be like really modern looking. I think it's stunning. Now, I went into store, I managed to get a sample, and I am not going to be around the bush, and I'm going to tell you right now that this perfume is underwhelming. Yes, I've said it. The reason why I'm saying this is because it is riding the very popular sweet white floral trend. Now the question is, do you want me to do a video on all of these fragrances so that I can compare which to get, which not to get, like which is the best? Would that be useful for you? Let me know in the comments down below. This isn't a bad perfume per se. It smells really nice. I would wear it personally if it wasn't for all of the other choices that we already have on the market. So you're gonna get some orange blossom, some neroli with citruses, and this really addictive note of vanilla in the base. Super nice, but honestly, for me, this is a pass. Unless you are a hardcore Prada fan, go for it. If you want to have everything Prada in your house, your wardrobe, up until your fragrance, go and get it. But otherwise, it's nothing crazy, unique, and special. So for me, this perfume is a pass. Next up, we have Scandale le Parfum from Jean-Paul Gaultier. This new release is super different to the original Scandale and also So Scandale DNA. So Scandale le Parfum is a standalone perfume flanker, if you will, very, very different. So it doesn't have the original thick, rich honey DNA that is super sweet, very intoxicating, and frankly, I find to be quite sickly. Scandale le Parfum, very different. You're going to get some caramel, vanilla, jasmine, and a little bit of a salty note too. Personally, this perfume is a no-go for me. I don't find this release to be really nice. If I'm honest, this is personal taste, I guess. Essentially, Scandale le Parfum for her is as if you had left Hypnotic Poison by Dior out in the sun for several hours. It's macerated, it's hot, it's kind of gone off. That is what this perfume makes me think of. So you're better off getting Hypnotic Poison by Dior over Scandale le Parfum for her, just because, well, I find that the Dior one is better and it doesn't have this like skanky dry down. For me, this is a pass. However, within the Scandale range, I would definitely recommend getting So Scandale. I find that So Scandal is super nice. Definitely recommend that over Scandale for her le Parfum. And I of course also smelt the masculine version, so Scandale le Parfum for him. Both fragrances have the same names, super confusing. I didn't find that the new Parfum version was drastically different from the Eau de Toilette, the version that launched last year. It is very similar to it. It still has the addictive caramel, but I would say the Parfum version is woodier and just stronger in general. So whether you should get the Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum really is going to come down to the performance. I haven't tried it on my skin, so I can't report back on that, but that would be my advice to you, is test both of these fragrances on your skin and just go with the one that lasts the longest and that projects the most, because it is a really likable fragrance and I feel like it would be great for going out or even for date nights. It's sexy, sweet, and quite fresh as well. Just test it on your skin and see which one lasts the longest and go for that one. I then went to the YSL counter to try two new releases from the private collection, BabyCat and Lavalière. Let's talk about BabyCat first, because this perfume is incredible. 100% approved, 10 out of 10 fragrance. It is incredible. This fragrance to me smells as if Rosando No. 5 by Rosando Mateo and Vanilla Barca had a baby. BabyCat would be it. It is such an incredible, smoky, leathery, spicy vanilla. beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And frankly, I'm very happy to have found it. I ended up buying it after my little trip to Harrods because it smelled amazing on the skin, projects really well, and also it lasts a super long time. This is a fragrance that, at least on my skin, lasted 8 hours plus. I think it could easily do 12 hours plus, so fantastic performance. But the good thing about it is that it smells on my skin very similar to Amouage's Vanilla Barca, which is like 410 pounds for a 10 or 20 ml attar oil, which, mind you, is beautiful, but it is really on the pricey side. So BabyCat is a more affordable alternative, even though it is still pricey. And again, the performance is fantastic. So I will be testing it out more, but I highly recommend you go out in stores and try it if you love smoky, spicy vanilla fragrances. It is truly a chef's kiss vanilla scent. Now, what about La Vallière? So La Vallière immediately gave me diptyque artsy vibes. And what I mean by this is that it's very different to the rest of the YSL range, and it's a little bit more out there in its DNA. So this is a floral green, fruity vegetal type of scent that reminds me a little bit of like L'Ombre dans l'eau from Diptyque, or even Blackberry and Bay from Jo Malone, which is like this DNA that feels as if you were walking into your kitchen garden after the rain and you're surrounded by flowers and also some like little berries and fruits and that kind of vibe. This is what this perfume is about. You have some fig as well as blackberry, rose, and geranium. And the greenness of this scent, I feel, comes from like the fig leaf. So it's really like dark vegetal green fig leaf that I get from this perfume, with pops of tangy, fruity notes and rose. So it's a pretty fragrance. I find that it is easier to understand though than Diptyque, perhaps a little less challenging and more rounded. So if you find that like the Diptyque type of DNA of like L'Ombre dans l'eau, for instance, is too challenging, then I invite you to try La Vallière from YSL. Next, we have Armani Code Parfum. Now I've compared this one to the original and I really don't see a massive difference. So the notes within this new fragrance are clary sage, bergamot, iris, tonka bean, and cedarwood. It's a likable fragrance, casual, no faff, very easy to wear and versatile. You can easily pair it with like a white tee and a pair of jeans. That is the kind of vibe that I get from this perfume. Is it outstanding? I don't think so. I don't think it is, super groundbreaking or incredibly sexy either. It's okay. It's a nice release. It actually reminded me a little bit of Le Mal le Parfum from Jean Paul Gaultier because it has that like iris, powdery iris DNA coupled with a more sensual base of woods and sweetness. However, when comparing the two together, I would say Armani Code Parfum isn't as sweet as Le Mal le Parfum and is definitely more casual. So I would say that Armani Code Parfum is Le Mal le Parfum's younger brother that is super casual. So between the two, I would definitely recommend going for Le Mal le Parfum. It's more elegant and I find that it is also more interesting, olfactively speaking, and it projects really nicely. So for me, Armani Code Le Parfum is unfortunately a pass. Next, we have a new release from Memo. It is called Madurai, and oh my gosh, is this new fragrance launch amazing. It is a beautiful, creamy, white, floral sandalwood fragrance. It is complemented with suede, a pop of peach, and turmeric. For me, the peach is more subtle. I mainly smell an ultra creamy milkiness of this fragrance, which I love. And in the dry down, you really get the suede come through, and Memo is the best brand at doing really elegant suede-like leather fragrances. Truly, they are masters at creating this super elegant leather notes, and you can find it in Madurai as well, which I think is super nice and unique when you think of like floral creamy fragrances. So for me, this fragrance is another 10 out of 10 release. I highly recommend you go and check it out. If you can smell it in store, definitely do. It is beautiful. This perfume, I would say, is great for a date night in the summertime. It is a stunning perfume, and I feel like this fragrance could be the next bestseller for Memo. Next, we have Mugler's Alien Goddess Intense. So a flanker to Alien Goddess. Now, the original Alien Goddess is this really rich and thick coconutty type of perfume. Personally, I don't really like the scent. I find it to be too cloying, and within that DNA, there are better fragrances to get. However, the intense version is really, really nice. This perfume, the best way I can describe it is a hybrid between Classique Essence de Parfum from Jean-Paul Gaultier, which has now been discontinued, and Kayali's Utopia Vanilla Cocoa. Let me explain. It has the ultra sensual white floral quality of Classique Essence de Parfum. It's like also very sweet and indulgent and mega sexy. It takes that, and it also takes the rich creaminess of coconut within Kayali's Utopia Vanilla Cocoa. So the two together is just so fantastic, very sexy perfume. I feel like this is gonna appear on top 10 sexy fragrances list on YouTube for sure. And it has this like balmy, warm quality to it as well. I highly recommend this fragrance over the original Alien Goddess, and if you are like me and don't like the original Alien Goddess, I invite you to try the intense version. It is fantastic, another 10 out of 10 fragrance release. Next we have Villa Neroli by BDK. I feel like I've been seeing non-stop on Instagram all about this fragrance. It's advertised everywhere, and so I was like, okay, like there has to be something with the scent, I need to try it. I went into stores, sprayed it on a blotter, and I have to say, I was disappointed. There's been so much hype around this fragrance, and it just doesn't live up to the hype, unfortunately. This perfume is a very pretty scent, don't get me wrong. It is an orange blossom perfume and really celebrates the light, fluffy, airy marshmallow sweetness of orange blossom. So it has this pretty ethereal sweetness about it that's really likable and very, very nice. However, I've smelt it before, it's not groundbreaking, and in my collection I have other fragrances that I prefer to use over this perfume, so for me it's a little bit redundant. However, if you don't have a fragrance like this in your collection, go ahead and smell it. I will warn you though, the performance is not good at all. It disappears very quickly and it doesn't project as well, which is a bit of a shame. If you are a fan of BDK, by all means check it out. But if you're looking for sweet, fluffy orange blossom fragrances that still remain quite airy and fresh, there are better fragrances on the market. Next up, we have Fleur Narcotique Extrait from Ex Nihilo. This perfume is a more concentrated version of Fleur Narcotique. I've smelled the two fragrances side by side, and the DNA is the same, but the Fleur Narcotique, as it is an extract, smells stronger and also projects a little bit more on my skin, I find. Which is a good thing, because the original Fleur Narcotique doesn't last, unfortunately, on my skin. It lasts like 3 to 4 hours, whereas the Extrait really does. So if you haven't tried Fleur Narcotique, it is a beautiful orange blossom fragrance, another orange blossom scent that has this like sweet marshmallowy effect without being sticky or syrupy, such as in Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. It's really light and airy, and it is blended in the Extrait with peony as well as like a creamy woody base, and I feel like this would get a lot of compliments from people as well. The only problem that I have with the Extrait is that the price increase compared to the original is super steep, and when I heard how much it was, I was shocked. It was like over £300, which is a lot. Like I wouldn't buy this fragrance at this price, because I have found a perfume that I purchased recently that smells almost the same as Fleur Narcotique, but the longevity is so much better. It lasts on my skin way longer. So I would save my money if I were you and get another fragrance instead. And the last fragrance is Opsis from Diptyque. And oh my gosh, this perfume smells so incredible. I was immediately wowed by the perfume when I smelled it on the blotter and then also on my skin. The dry down is outstanding. So this perfume is a spicy, ambery scent with notes of olibanum, iris, and musk. It opens super spicy, almost black pepper-like, and immediately I also get a dry cedarwood type note. So it's like super spicy, dry woods, and there's also like a little bit of smoky incense in the background going on. So there's like a warmth, a dryness, and a smokiness to the perfume. I would say it is unisex, leaning more towards masculine, but I just love the way this smells on my skin. Oh my gosh, this fragrance is going to be my next diptyque purchase. It is outstanding, and I feel like it will do so well in the autumn and winter time. If you like woody, spicy, ambery scent, I invite you to try it. It is a beautiful creation. And also the bottle, I love that it has like a gold plate on the bottle. I think it looks super luxurious and premium and different as well from the rest of the diptyque range, which I like, so it really stands out. So I highly recommend you try out this new release. It lasts all day on my skin as well, so good performance. Not the strongest projecting, I would say the projection is more moderate, but other than that, it lasts all day. So for me, this perfume is a yes, and I would recommend for you to check it out. And that is it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments down below if you've tried any of these new fragrances. I would love to know what you think of them. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, spread the fragrant love.